悪いな、クリムジョ。
I also want to hear with like your ideas on animes being very repetitive, because for me, I do feel that not in like the like exact sense that they're just copy and pasting, but I do feel there is a general formula which I wish people weren't like following, because then we would at least get more original projects or more unique storytelling. Even if it's not original projects, you'd be like, this is my take on this light novel, or this is my take on this manga, and just change it a bit. But I do feel like you can, if right now, using all the information we have, we can probably guess the next seasons upon seasons anime kind of storyline. We can guess what kind of, you can kind of guess what kind of story they'll be telling in each series. There'll be one, like you said, light novel when they do a madness with a name, like I just woke up and I saw a frog and now I'm pink. Hey, those
That's how they really be like that.
those light novels, fam, those like novel titles, they give me so much jokes. I'm like, why do you have to be so literal? Why do you have to tell me what's going to happen in the whole story? I don't have to read it no more, because I know what happens.
Basically. But yeah, it's a bit mad. But like you said, there's always, there's going to be something like similar. But I feel like with the shonen and the isekai, I think those two especially, and even sometimes shoujos, like there's always like a clear path. Like, this is what happens, this is what you follow. You get hit by Chop-kun and you die. You clean yourself a little bit when you die to embarrass you a little bit. Then you go to the next place and you do your stuff there. With the shoujos, like, there's a guy, there's a girl, there's a little bit of a love triangle. And it's to the shonen, you know what, I want to be this person, but no, people don't like me, they're shunning me, then I push past the boundaries and win. But then again, there's a difference between just like being basic and following those to the T, and there's stuff like, ReZero, there's stuff like Black Clover, there's stuff like Fruits Basket that it basically follows the same thing, but they do it in such a good way. I think that's the one that touches people, because when you get so basic and you do it like it seems like a repetition, I feel like most people just like, you know what, I feel like I've seen this before, I'm gonna drop it. And that's what I do. If it feels like, this is basically Naruto, fam, and they didn't even try, they're not, I'm dropping it. I swear this is One Piece. Like, they even call themselves pirates, I'm dropping it. I was sort of like, wait, I swear this is Toradora, but with different colored hairs, and I'm dropping it. So I feel like you need to, like, you can follow archetype, but you can make it your own, I think. Because when it gets repetitive, which there's so much, it's so saturated, but I feel like you're just gonna get ignored. Like, those are the ones there that like not many people watch, and just pick like one. Almost every season there's like one or two that they pick, and they're like, everything else, forget about it. And that's because those ones are generally just something we've seen before.
Pretty much agree with what you said there. It's very repetitive, especially when it comes to the isekais. It's always MC's overpowered in some sort of fashion. He has a special power, and that power, it helps him or her as they go about their journey. Something about a demon lord, monsters. Sometimes they'll be leveling up, or skills. There'll be skills involved, and I don't know. It gets really, I guess, tiring. But there was I think there was one isekai I was watching last season. It was called The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent. That was more of it was a different twist. You still have the overpowered MC, but she just has a lot of magic power, and she's not going out of her way in battle scenarios. She's making that potions, doing alchemy, researching, stuff like that. So that was, I guess, a fresher take on the whole isekai theme, because it's not just focused on, okay, I'm going on an adventure and then I summoned this guy from a different world, or I died and I got reincarnated. It was more of a thing where she's adapting to just a normal life, but she's the saint, so obviously she has to do some special tasks eventually, but she's just really trying to be adapting to this new lifestyle that she's in. And also Villainess that Ed mentioned, that's another one. It's more of a unique, I can't even say unique, because there's actually like a bunch of villainess stories. They just haven't been put into animes. But like that whole theme with you're being reincarnated into an evil character, and then now you have to navigate that world knowing that you're at a disadvantage. But in this one, it's more of a comedy. But like that's what happens in the more serious ones. So I think if you had some of those stories adapted, that would be quite interesting, because it gets quite tense in some of these stories because of the situation they've been placed in.
Yeah, I think you just need to do something different. I think in the Isekai, shonen and like other stuff, I think if you just, even the first person to do something different, like the next Isekai, for example, is like, you go into a world, but this time you just mainly support. You're not seen as the main character. Something different, I think, and you do it good, and people are gonna jump on it. But if they see like, well, you come to the world, you're seen as the villain, I've seen that already. Or you come into the world, you're massively overpowered, I've seen it already. So you need to and because people are like ready to turn it off, that means you have to be like, you have to hit every other thing at 100%. If not, you're not going to draw like attention. Like animation has to be good, the voice acting has to be good, the storytelling has to be elite. But if it's like, I think there's more leeway if you do something like out of left field, like you go into another world, but this world is like similar to what you just came from, but it's just different. And if you do something that's slightly different, it doesn't have to be much. I think there's more attention. But if you do the same thing that everyone has been doing, I think everything has to be 100%. If not,
just makes it more difficult, innit? Definitely makes it more difficult. And I think that's why we have such kind of harsh criterias for what we watch, like we've been saying, because of the repetitive nature and kind of that theme that's been taken by a genre each season or something. You have to be very selective. Man can't watch every isekai that comes on the place. Man can't watch every shonen fighting anime. Man can't watch every romantic shoujo, whatever. It gets like that. It actually gets like that. And moving to the final section, what do you guys hope the scene will evolve into, like anime-wise? Long-term, short-term, seasonal, long-running? What is like the ideal, apart from obviously us understanding that we want the animators and production and everybody in there to have good pay and be compensated well for their hard work? Other than that, what is like your kind of notion or feel for what the future of anime should look like or should evolve into?
So I'd like to see it expand a lot more to a wider range of genres, if that makes sense. I'm not really a horror person, but seeing more horror anime would be cool. Also, I'm not a mecha person, but I guess mecha anime would be alright as well. Gundams too.
God forbid.
Hey, listen.
I came to hate.
Jose,
I am here for mecha.
Yes, I'm not a fan, but hey, we have to feed everyone. And then, because if we have a wider range, that means a wider amount of studios can pick up the work. That means more people get a chance to test different techniques, because obviously different anime will utilize more skills than others. You get to learn more things, and also expand to different countries too. Like we got Korean animators now, obviously people in America, China. Like there was one show I watched, Forkhorn of the Five Elements. It's a Chinese, it's made by a Chinese studio, and it was only 3 episodes, but the animation in those 3 episodes was amazing. Like it was mainly battle orientated, but the animation was so fluid, and like the kind of premise of that anime, I don't even know if it's an anime because it's not from Japan, but I'm just gonna call it anime. But it's quite interesting, and I'm looking forward to the continuation of that story. But obviously it'll take a long time because of how high quality they want to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing other countries tackling or having their own take on anime and like contributing to the I guess general sphere, which is the anime industry, so we can get to see the different styles of animation from different countries. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Just piggybacking on that as well, I think as well as different countries, I feel like different cultures, because I feel like since a lot of people are watching it, I think there needs to be more story told, like in different like demographics and everything I'm putting as well. Like I need more stories on Black people. I need more stories on my Indians, my Latinos, like a more diverse, if you say. I think that I know every time like everything's diversity. You're trying like be too woke. I feel like learning about other cultures sometimes can be interesting. Sometimes I want to see how clothes are made in different culture, and that can be a very good anime. I feel like just more diversity in that aspect of it. I think this sometimes there's too much wokeness, but sometimes I feel like just giving people more a platform to explore and express themselves in anime. I think that would be really good. And I would say like I've always had a problem with the way Netflix and Crunchyroll do stuff. I feel like they always like, do this, we can bring out this time. I feel like they should give the animation teams like the hiring, give them more time, give them the freedom they need. Don't rush. I think more time means better quality. I think there's no rushing. There should be no rushing in terms of Crunchyroll and Netflix, because the webtoons some of them were a mess. I can't lie, and I was excited for them as well.
Big misses.
But and same thing with the Netflix stuff. Like look at Record of Ragnarok. Just give it time.
My days.
LOL.
Just give it time. Yeah, that's not even the animator's fault. Like as we learned already on this part, it's not the animator's fault. They were just not given the time and the things they needed to do that. And because Netflix wanted it to come at a certain time, and I feel like that needs to change. And apart from that, I feel like there's so many mangas and like light novels with so many different stories already that just need to be explored. I feel like there's like such a small percentage of things that get animated.
Yeah.
I guess there's so many mangas out there like with different storytelling abilities, like Daniel said before, like the horror, like the realism. There's so much different stuff that sometimes we never get animated, and they're really good stories. So I feel like they need to like not recute or like they need to like explore more, because there's already, even without building on what is going on already there's so many things in the manga and the like novel like community that there's so many good stories. I feel like Shonen Jump or other like manga, they need to like start pushing like this is a really good story. Not every time Isekai. Let's go to this one instead, and like give them opportunities, because the mangas are there already. Good mangas are there already. I just think they deserve the opportunity. And once we do that, I feel like it's going to be a drastic change, because some of the stories need to be let out into the anime community. Like, because whether we like it or not, anime is always going to be more popular than the manga. So once the manga gets pushed out there, you see that I feel like there's a lot more people that can get into anime, because there's so many more stories that can speak to so many people. It's just like they're not being told in anime format. So yeah.
I do totally agree with both of you what you've just said, and kind of adding to that, and what I think I personally would like to see happen is just kind of like a culture of like freedom, talking towards the anime viewers. So anime viewers being not toxic, more open-minded, more expansive, willing to learn, willing to listen, willing to experience new stuff. Especially in the anime community, I feel like there's a fear of the new and not sticking to tradition, not sticking to there's something about being against something that's just doing well, that's new. Like even like you guys said with the Full Metal Alchemist, and they just saw that Fubasi was doing well, and we have to hate. If you have that culture, like freedom and that expansiveness, where everybody is getting such versatility of storytelling and versatility of ideas, thoughts, processes, different cultures, religions, whatever, it just gives you don't get that kind of feeling of ownership, because you don't feel that anime is like a you thing, or it's more like a us thing. It's like everybody's involved, everybody's eaten, like Daniel said, whether it's the horror, whether it's romance, whether it's sci-fi, whether, you know what I mean? We don't have to stick to the same agenda. If not, we're kind of limiting ourselves. And I do feel, even though we're getting good projects, that the anime scene, even though it's still early in its days, has been limiting itself in many aspects, but just image of like freedom to, you know, do what you want to do and write what you want to write and explore new details and ideas would definitely, and the freedom of mind with when it comes to the viewers would be beautiful, man. Like, we would have so much more better conversations like everywhere we go, you know what I mean? And that's what I really would love to see. I don't know if it will happen. I don't know if that's just wishful thinking, but
Fingers crossed, innit?
you know them ones. That's definitely what I'd like to see, man. Definitely what I'd like to see.
That'll be good. That'll be a great time in the anime community.
Man said wishful thinking. We might have to write a manga where that comes true.
I can't draw, man.
Hey,
I can draw. I'll be the artist. It's
Hey, we're saved.
Someone just needs to tell the story.
I'll just think of the title. I'll be like, 3 guys doing a podcast, and then they wrote a manga.
No, that's
There
too
you
short.
go. Man said it's too short.
I said it before and I'll say